I just finished watching episode 7, season 1, and these are my big takeaways. So, last episode, the guy in the colony house was talking to the demon like girl, and you could tell that they were building some type of relationship. This episode starts with Victor looking for peaches. And when Donna tells him that they're all gone, Victor makes a comment that says, after all these years, this is the first time that they don't have peaches. And what I noticed from him saying that is that there is a pattern that when changes happen in Fromville, that means something bad is about to happen. First, it happened with the 2 cars, and now it's happening with the peaches. So the episode continues, and it goes to Jim. Now, Jim is very pessimistic in this episode, and when he is speaking about his mission to get the antenna to connect to the outside world, he says that he knows it's going to fail. And then he also foreshadows falling into the hole in the basement that him and Tabitha are digging. So I thought that was interesting. Father Khatri goes to Boyd and he tells him about his past sins, about how there was this guy, this little boy in his church, and when he goes to the boy's house later that night, he sees that his dad had beat him up. The boy's dad had beat the little boy up. And so he ends up punching him and almost beating him to death. And when he is about to commit suicide, he hears God talk to him. And when he got back in his car, he ended up in Fromville. He also tells Boyd that Sarah is locked in the basement and that she has revealed to him that she knows that he buried the bloody clothes, and that's what the bloody clothes were from, and that bottle of alcohol. And then he also says he thinks someone was watching him the day that he arrived, because Sarah has only been there for 5 months. So there's no way that she would have known, because Father Khatri has been there much longer. So I thought that was an interesting concept, that someone is watching them, but who? Who would be watching them? So this episode mainly focuses on Fatima's 1-year anniversary, and the entire colony house is celebrating her being there for 1 year. And during this episode, Donna gives her a gift of a dream catcher, and she says to her, "May this catch all of your bad dreams." During this same party, Dale makes a comment about living in different dimensions and also maybe a pocket universe. And what came to mind when he said that was the whole Matrix thing, where these people are like locked into these tubes where their body is not functioning, but their mind is. And so they're able to live inside their mind without their body. So during the party, the colony guy that was in the last episode ends up letting that girl in. And some key notes about the demon-like characters. So the first one is that she's able to morph into either human or demon. So when she's kissing him, she's actually a normal human, and she touches him and acts like a normal human, and he even says, "You're warm." He was expecting her probably to be cold because they seem like they're dead. And then when she attacks him, though, she turns back into a demon. And then after she attacks him, she turns back into a human. I also noticed that she was able to open the window. So they do have some strength. They're not like ghosts that can like go through walls. She also used guilt with him. So she told him that she wasn't going to be able to see him anymore and made him feel very guilty. She said, "If you're scared of me, then how am I supposed to be okay with this?" And I thought that her using guilt against him was interesting because she understands human psychology. Now, once they enter the house, they go crazy, and they even go up to one guest and they say her name, and she says, "How do you know my name?" And one of the demon-like things say, "We all know your names." So that's kind of a play on the "we're watching you" type thing, is that they know more about them than even the people that are just meeting them. Like an average stranger wouldn't know your name, obviously. So it is kind of like they are being watched. I also noticed that the demons dress very old school. Even though they look younger, they dress like they are from in the past. During the invasion of the demon-like characters, Julie is upstairs with Victor because she wanted to get away from the party, and he ends up telling her that they needed to get out of the house immediately because it's happening. And after they climb down the rope from his bedroom in the attic, Julie wants to go into the town, and he tells her no, because he sees the boy in white in the forest. So he tells her they're going into the forest and that they need to go to a tree. And then as soon as they find one of the faraway trees, he tells Julie to get into the tree. And Julie goes from the tree into the storm shelter where we've seen Jade find the Civil War soldier. So that storm shelter is very, very important. Something happened down there. The end of the episode ends with Father Khatri being killed by one of the demons, and they say a prayer over him as he's passing away. Now on to episode 8.